today we're not gonna do any cooking. We're gonna, get down to something serious. We have to make sure that we're just not cooking over, areas that could be unsafe. In this video, I'm gonna make sure that you have the proper knowledge of how to keep your areas sanitized and the proper temperatures to cook your food at. Stay tuned. It's important. Have you ever eaten something and, maybe from a restaurant or someone's house, unfortunately, where you, shortly after, you started feeling ill? You felt stomach pains, fever, chills. A little later on, you got diarrhea, you felt dehydrated, headaches. All of those are symptoms of serious foodborne diseases, such as E. coli, listeria, salmonella. They're all very serious. I'm going to give you some tips to keep your place clean. Fortunately, when it comes to restaurants, a lot of times we're okay because there are regulations that if a restaurant doesn't comply, they get fines, or worse, they can get shut down. So we have that in order for us to be safe, and it works pretty good in a lot of states. I'm going to give you some tips to maintain a safe environment, and in addition to that, I'm going to make sure that you know the proper temperatures to cook your meats to. So this is the thermometer, okay, and you're going to place it at, now the degrees are supposed to be 165. You could take it out at 160, and then when it comes out and rests, sits down and cools off a little bit, then that means you could test it. It'll go up another 5 degrees, but don't take it out before it's 160. So you take the fleshy part, okay, and then you stick the thermometer in till at the middle, and then you get a reading. Of course, this reading is from a cold piece of chicken, a raw piece of chicken, so that's not going to be the same. But this, I'm just showing you how to use the thermometer when you read. So you're going to do it the same way when it's a piece of steak, piece of chicken. You take the biggest part and you stick the thermometer in it and you read it. And of course, it's 165 for poultry. You ever bit into a piece of chicken and it was like pink by the bone? No good. That's really no good. You can get salmonella from that. Make sure that you have a bottle of sanitizer near you, and that would consist of, like a small spray bottle with water and some bleach. And I'm going to just show you how to make it right now. I'm talking. Okay, so now we have the sanitizer, the bottle that we're going to use to keep as a sanitizer, the sanitizer in. We're going to use, this is like about 15 ounces areas, cooking areas. Okay, so I'm going to pour the water in. Use a funnel to keep things from spilling. Okay, and then I'm gonna take like a tablespoon of bleach. Pour it in. Okay, now this is going to be your designated sanitizer bottle. Use it on your surfaces that any food is going to come in contact with. So just did the chicken, so I'm going to show you to you could use it to spray the area here, or we could use it, we just did the chicken, so you're gonna spray with that, wipe it down, bleach. But we're really gonna wash this in the sink, but this is just to show you that this is the bleach we use to sanitize the surfaces of wherever you worked, so that everything can stay safe. Okay. Okay, another thing is to make sure your hands are clean. When you go from product to product, you have to make sure your hands are washed thoroughly with soap and water, not just rinse them off, especially when you're working with poultry. Okay, make sure the cutting board that you're using is clean. So rinse it off just before you use it, even though you put it down there clean. Just rinse it off. Start off with a clean board. Okay, it's best if you can actually have a designated board, one for vegetables and one for meat. Okay, so you won't transfer any of that contamination. And make sure again each surface is clean upon when you usage. The other thing is that the temperature for beef, like ground beef and eggs, is like 160. Can't eat raw eggs, that can make you sick too. I know people like to do it, but it can also make you sick. Okay, pork, veal, stuff like that, veal chops, pork chops, one temperature is 145, no matter what type of dish it is, 145. Seafood, 145 also. Okay. Now when you come to storing, you're gonna have you have the food out a little bit after you eat. Make sure it's not more than 2 hours. More than 2 hours, you have a risk of getting yourself sick. When you store it in a airtight container or wrap it up well, and you make sure that the refrigerator is at least 40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder. No warm refrigerator, it's just going to build bacteria. Or if you have room, put it in the freezer, and that will, once it cools down some, put it in the freezer, and it could keep for quite some time. If you have mice or even rats, you're going to put on the gloves when you work with this. Get a little container like this. Towel cutter. So I have the little opening, okay? So I'm going to use this with honey. Baking soda. Mice and rats are not supposed to be able to fart or burp. So they'll take some of this, eat it, and go back to their nests and eventually die. Dish to mix this in. Exactly the same parts of each. It's not going to harm your other pets if you have. Stir it around, mix it, because you don't want everything going out the top. Gonna pour this into here. Put your top back on, and they can just go in, get their meal. Okay, that's just about all we have for today. I just wanted you to make sure that you're not just cooking and not realizing how you may be making mistakes in your storage temperatures and everything. I would like for you to, practice good habits and pass it on to your kids. This is Heavenly. Be well and stay healthy. Thank you.